Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Parker Dodson with podcastvideos.com here in the early stages of the Arkansas State Media Network studios. We're few additional changes that we have that'll be upcoming, but I'm excited to be joined today by Casey Pearce here with the NYIT program of freshman to physician at Arkansas State. So Casey, thank you for joining me. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got into what you're doing now.
Yeah, so my name is Casey Pearce. I'm the Director of External Relations and Marketing for NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine. I don't sound like I'm from New York, do I?
No, not at all. No, you don't.
So I'm actually from Russellville, Arkansas. I attended Arkansas State as an undergrad, and about 8 years ago was really fortunate to join NYIT College of Osteopathic Medicine, which is the medical school that operates on the A-State campus in partnership with A-State. So I say New York. Our institution is based in New York, but pretty cool story. About 15 years ago, the leadership at Arkansas State University wanted to open a medical school. And as they looked at how to navigate that from a political standpoint and just from an operational standpoint, what they discovered was they could very efficiently partner with an institution that was already running a medical school. So there was a significant need in Arkansas. We only had one medical school in the entire state at that time. And we rank near the bottom in number of physicians per capita and also in a number of health outcomes. So we're not an overly healthy people, and we don't have enough doctors practicing here.
And that's in the state of Arkansas as a whole.
Yeah. Absolutely. The other statistic that we always talk about is a third of the physician workforce in the state of Arkansas is age 60 or over. So they are either at or rapidly approaching that place where they're going to want to retire, or they're starting to think about that. So we really needed something to build a physician pipeline of physicians that would train in Arkansas and hopefully stay here to practice. So with that in mind, a significant need here, the leadership at Arkansas State, the Jonesboro Chamber of Commerce, the civic community, and also the medical community put together a business plan and began traveling the country, meeting with medical schools and asking if they wanted to open a campus in Arkansas. And that message, that mission, that vision really connected with NYIT, which is located in Old Westbury, New York, about 40 miles out on Long Island.
Okay, very cool. And I know you kind of mentioned osteopathic. So one of the things whenever we first started talking is we said, one of the graphics we came up with said MD. And it was like, you weren't shaming, which I appreciate.
Right.
But there's a common misconception between MD and ODs. So tell me a little bit more.
Back up, MD and DO.
MD and DO.
Yes.
Oh, so it's Doctor of Osteopathic.
Yep. So
gotcha.
An OD is an optometrist.
Oh, you're right.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm correct.
No, you're good.
If you want to redo there, but yes.
No, yeah. Yeah. So one of the things whenever you and I first started talking, and I didn't know the difference, was the difference between an MD and a DO. I didn't really know the biggest difference between that two. And you very humbly corrected us, which I'm glad you did, because I bet there's a large portion of the population that doesn't know the difference in those two things. So tell me a little bit of difference in what those designations mean and what the approach to medicine is.
Yeah. So first of all, before I came to work in an osteopathic school 8 years ago, I wasn't very familiar with the term or the differences or any of that. And we're the first osteopathic school to open in Arkansas. So it's a relatively new term and concept to a lot of people that live here. But the easiest way to explain it, there's two types of physicians that are fully licensed to practice a full scope of medicine and surgery in the United States. There's an allopathic physician, which is an MD, which most people are a little bit more familiar with. And then there's an osteopathic physician, which is a DO, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine is what DO stands for. DOs and MDs can do the exact same things. They take similar but different licensing exams. They go to the same residency programs. They're trained in those same programs, and they practice in all medical specialties. Osteopathic physicians are just trained with a little bit of a different philosophy. There are principles of osteopathic medicine, and without getting too deep in them, basically, it's a holistic approach to medicine. That there's one full big picture of the body is interconnected. It works together. And the main idea, I think, that osteopathic physicians really drive home is they get to work to root causes. So if you have high blood pressure, I can give you a medication and it's going to address that. But if I really solved it, if I haven't talked to you about diet, exercise, sleep, mental health, and all those other things that really impact why you have that. So I'm using hypertension is one example, but in a whole scope of medical issues, osteopathic physicians are trained to see, address, and define those root causes to help give you a full picture of health. Like I said, when you see an osteopathic physician, you're very often going to be asked, "What'd you eat for breakfast? When was the last time you walked around your neighborhood? Are you sleeping okay?" All those things that play into. So again, you could see a DO and really not ever experience the difference. It's just that they're trained a little bit differently to approach medicine in a different way. One other thing that is a little bit different and unique, osteopathic physicians can practice in any field, orthopedic surgery, radiation oncology, diagnostic radiology, any of those. They're more likely to practice in the primary care specialties, which we classify as family medicine, internal medicine, pediatrics, and general surgery. That's defined by our association, those four. DOs are twice as likely to practice in primary care. And why that's significant for Arkansas is that's where our real needs are in those primary care. We need family medicine physicians practicing, especially in some of these rural towns in the Delta. So our mission ties into that fact that you're more likely to practice in one of those, and that's what we really need there. The one other piece, DOs are twice as likely to practice in a rural or underserved community. And when we look at the landscape of Arkansas, we have a lot of those types of communities that need physicians. So from a missional standpoint, we're trying to train physicians to go practice in these areas and address some of those significant healthcare needs in Arkansas, like we talked about.
Yeah, it's incredibly interesting. Like, as we've talked over the last couple of months, just the way you guys handle your system. And we won't get into that too much today because I know you guys will be tackling that. But, with the media network, you're one of our more unique ones because you're actually going to be leading two shows. So tell people real quick, I know we've got More Than Medical School on the screen here, but you have another show as well. So real quickly, just kind of tell people the difference in the two shows and kind of what you're hoping to do with these conversations to educate the public, students, prospective students, people in the overall communities in the area about what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So the pre-med playbook, first of all, Arkansas State University has a great undergraduate pre-med program, and we've partnered with them. We've had upwards of, we're pushing 100 now in our first 7 classes that have gone through that program at Arkansas State and have now graduated from our medical program. Wow. We want everybody in this state, in this region that's interested in medicine to pursue your undergraduate degree at Arkansas State and come to medical school at NYIT. But hopefully this can provide a resource for anybody that's interested in medical school in general. How do you navigate that path? What are some things that our current students would have liked to have known as they were applying for medical school, as they were preparing for their pre-med journey, all those things. So our pre-med playbook is going to be some career advice from our current students, from our faculty members, from our admissions team on what they look for in prospective students, and just 4 episodes of some advice on how to better help both K-12 students and then also undergrad students as they're preparing to enter medical school. And hopefully we may be even inspire them to pursue that field.
Yeah. And it's, it's a very interesting thing because we actually had the studios open today, and we've actually had 4 pre-med students already come in here and do a little mock recording. And they were already talking, I think all of them were like sophomores and freshmen. They were already talking about all of the testing and some of the stresses that they're already kind of going through. And so not only are they having to perform as a student and learn very high level things, but in the back of their mind, it's like, okay, well, this isn't, just through my pre-med is not the final step. I've got other things to go through. So the playbook, I love the idea because it gives them a resource from the people who they're going to be approaching one day about getting into med school. You're giving them that kind of path and that playbook on how do we actually, what are we looking for so they can better prepare themselves as they move in the future, which is great. I love that you guys are doing that. And then obviously your other one, which is More Than Medical School. Tell us a little bit more about that one.
Yeah. So we're going to speak with the leadership of our school to speak specifically about, we use that term More Than a Medical School because we feel like we're different. There's a lot of things about NYITCOM at A-State that makes us different. And so what we say is you can go anywhere and learn anatomy, physiology, your body systems, bedside manner, how to be a doctor. But some of the things that make us unique. First of all, we're on a large undergraduate campus. So our students have a lot of resources here. We're going to talk about that and how our students benefit from that. We're going to tell our history because, again, that partnership that we spoke about earlier, that's unique, that you're part of an institution that is based in New York, but has a campus in Arkansas, and you get lots of resources from both of those. We're going to talk about the history of our school and kind of how we came to be here. We're going to tell you where our graduates go, what they do, where they practice, how we've been able to get them there. So again, that's more I talked about trying to sell you on becoming a physician. Maybe that the other piece is trying to sell you on why our medical school is the one for you. And not so much sell you, just to give you some information to help you make an informed decision about the opportunity that exists right here in Jonesboro, Arkansas, to get an outstanding medical education and then go work as a servant leader in medicine to serve our communities and to help make Arkansas a better place.
Yeah. And I love that. And that's ultimately, what we want for the area and the state that we live in and enjoy. It's like having talked with you guys, I've got a young family, and it's like hearing the approach that you guys take is something that I want and strive for our state and different communities throughout the area, because I've got a young family, hearing that most of these doctors, and you experience it when you go in a doctor's office, a lot of them are getting later in their careers. And so it's not always a super comforting fact when maybe you've been with a doctor for years and they're getting ready to retire. It's like, well, where are we going to go now? I've built a relationship with this person. So to see you guys taking that initiative to helping students and future leaders find a great path to get into these communities to help people is really just extremely important, because it impacts all of us. So even though I live 5.5 hours away or 5 hours away in Northwest Arkansas, having you and I having some of those discussions about where your students go for residencies and other things like that, that's making impacts not just in the area, which it is, but also more regionally across, and even, eventually to other states and surrounding states, things like that. So it's not just a Jonesboro thing. Jonesboro is where it's happening and where we're actually educating these students and allowing them to perform, but they're going and doing work all across the state. And so it's really exciting to see some of the things that you guys have going on. I'm really excited to get these conversations going. I know Michael Stinnet's going to be another one of our hosts that we're going to chat with him tomorrow on another recording and just share what he's going to be talking about within it. So we have 3 shows coming for freshman to physician with NYIT, which we're really excited about, and just helping educate people through long form, genuine conversation. If you're thinking about a student going through all of this, trying to make that decision, being able to hear from the people that you guys are talking about puts a lot of ease at mind, and they can visualize themselves, oh, here is someone who's gone through this program and this is what they've experienced. Here's a field that I can end up in, what I can do. And they can kind of begin to plot that future course a little bit more than having to worry about it while also worrying about all their studies and everything else. So it's really exciting. And I know we're going to have the remote capabilities with this. So we may be able to talk to some people from New York and get them involved, which will be really exciting. And I know we've met with the dean and talked with him a little bit. He's very excited about it too. So it's going to be a really cool opportunity just to talk a little bit more and have people understand the magnitude of what you guys are helping and the mission of what you're trying to do. And it's helping the future to help ourselves now is a great way to kind of look at it too. So as we kind of wrap this, we want to keep these pretty short. If you have anything else that you want to share or give people something to look forward to, I would love to give you the opportunity to kind of do that a little bit more.
Yeah, if you want to kind of see what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, we have a really good social media coordinator. Our handles are all NYITCOM AR. So New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine, Arkansas, NYITCOM AR on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook as well. So there's day-to-day stuff to kind of see what we're talking about, visualize that. Check us out. Our website's nyit.edu/Arkansas. So if folks want to get some more information and kind of get ahead of us, but we're just excited about an opportunity to tell our story. When I was hired for this job, my boss had told me, I share this a lot, that we're doing a lot of good things. We need to do a better job of telling people about it. So my job is to tell people about it. And I'm really excited about having this platform to tell people about what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's the thing that whenever we got into the business of podcasting in our business, the thing I love about it is exactly what you just said. It's hard to sit down and, it's hard to actually have somebody understand, even via social media, but it's needed because it draws attention. It's hard to really sell someone on something or inform them on something without having the time to be able to sit down and talk to them. And so the podcasting platform is designed, and why people love podcasts is for that exact reason. You can sit there and tell me in 1 hour of me and you sitting down like we have in the past, a conversation about what you guys do. If I had to try to go discover that on my own, no matter how good websites are and social medias are, you can build the picture, but you can't tell that full story. So adding that level of a podcast really enables that depth of conversation, and then be able to bring in other people that are in the industry or experience that across the medical fields that have experience in that, and be able to share and tap into their wisdom is another valuable asset. And so I'm excited for you guys. I know whenever we first came with you all talking about the idea, there was a lot of excitement, like we're ready for it. And you were within a week, Casey had sent us something over that was like, this is who I'm going to talk to. This is what it's called. Here's our host. Here's every single of our, 12 episodes that we're going to do over these 3 shows within a few days. And because it was like, you guys know what you're talking about. And probably for you, without putting words in your mouth, it was probably challenging to really just narrow it down to 12 things to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's hopefully just the tip of the iceberg with what we're wanting to do. Really being able to get in there a little bit deeper and continue these conversations is going to be incredibly important. And overall, the point of all of this is to continue to elevate Arkansas State and the university as a whole, from academics, athletics, community, and partnerships that we're going to be covering in this. We really want everyone to be able to understand the great things that are happening here. Because I've been to campus once, aging myself a little bit, about 15 years ago, as a prospective student. And it was still great then. But it's, it's been 15 years. I ended up going to the U of A and have lived in Northwest Arkansas the rest of my life. But, it's one of those things when I came back on campus and got to meet some of the people that have been here, see the facilities that are in place, the vision and goals of what we're trying to get to, it really became one of those things where I was like, there's a lot of really cool stuff happening here. Yeah, and it's, how do we continue to amplify that story of it? And it's, with what we're doing is just a very, there's countless stories across all the different colleges on this campus and different departments of the great things that are happening. And so we're excited to kind of dive in and help provide that platform and continue going forward. But I know we're getting some episodes going here in the next week or two and going to get them out a little bit later. So we're excited to get you in with some guests and get some content going. Yeah.
And I'm an ambassador for this university, even though I work on this campus. I don't work directly for it every day, but as an alum, a proud alum, a proud supporter of Red Wolf Athletics. The greatest 4 years of my life were spent on this campus, and it's changed a lot in the last 23 years since I left, but it's all growth that I've been extremely proud of. And I'm always proud to call myself an A-State alum. So then to get to be part of an institution that's doing great things through our partnership with A-State is still, I've made it my life's work. It's my passion, and it's fun. I'm looking forward to being able to tell people a lot more about it.
Yeah. And I think it speaks to, a little bit more like our, the owner of our company, the president of our company, both A-State alums, both from the area. And every time we come over, they run into somebody else that they know and they love it. And it kind of resonated with me, the community of what you're talking about, how tight-knit we are as a state in Arkansas, how even though these people have lived not in this area, Bob, I think it was his first time back in a decade and a half. And I'm having to, someone who graduated from here, I'm not. I had to, hey, that road doesn't actually cut through campus anymore. You actually need to go around. You got to park over here. And seeing how much it's changed, was really exciting for him. So, and I know communities is such an important thing. And I love the way you guys get students in it, because you said you're from Russellville. I'm from Van Buren. My defensive line coach in high school was from Russellville and a good friend of yours. Yeah. So it's crazy how you and I had never met before, but there's a connection, and that happens everywhere, in every state. But I feel like in Arkansas, it's especially true in these communities that people are so much more interconnected than they are. So how do we help raise up future leaders and doctors and other medical professionals here and continue to spread them throughout that state to continue to kind of fuel the state that we love living in?
Yep. That's what we were established with a mission to do. And, we're actually celebrating our 10-year anniversary this spring. So it's been fun starting from that point of being able to tell people what we're going to do. But now we're at the place where we can tell them what we are doing. And it's awesome to see that impact.
Awesome. Well, Casey, thank you for taking the time. We're excited to get more content going and get some stuff released out there. So there'll be Not any from me coming out in the future, but a lot coming out from Casey. So be sure when we'll start pushing that content out. You guys go give it a follow, listen to it, share it with any friends that are interested in potentially becoming into med schools and looking at pre-med options. Arkansas State's a great one with this partnership that can help them really guide down that pathway. So thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to doing more.
Yep.